Okay. Do we have sound yet? There we go. Alright, so welcome to week 9. This week, where's my mouse? There it is. This week we're going to be covering basically the rough draft for your field study essay. And as soon as my computer starts working, it is being so slow today. I'm gonna lose my cool. So the very first thing you need to do, of course, is continue reading the Emotional Intelligence book. Like I said last week, we're not going to really be diving into that as deeply as we did the first 2 books, but there still is some criteria or some content from these chapters that will show up on the final, so be sure to at least be reading. I will, of course, give you a study guide for the final, but just so you have some idea, some kind of background knowledge whenever you get to that point in the class, it's a good idea to keep reading. So once you complete the reading for this week, which is just part 3, go ahead and move down to the rubric and read that. That's basically what this little note says. Once you complete the reading, move down, check out the rubric first. Just kind of give yourself kind of a self-review of it, and then, of course, watch this video, which hopefully you've already done. But let's go ahead and go back into that rubric really quick. And just so I can give you an example, discuss it a little bit. Basically what the rubric is here is a generic rubric that I've created is to just focus on writing skill. Now, that isn't to say that the content isn't included. I mean, obviously there's a column for content. So that is where, basically, if you look at these 5 columns, the focus here is basically from a 0 to 10, and I can give half marks, so you can see right here, this is a 7. You might get a 5, you might get a 9, whatever. But each of these columns, I basically rate you from 0 to 10 on each of these 5 criteria. The first one's focus. So how well do you integrate your thesis into your first paragraph, and then how well do you support that thesis for the rest of the paragraph, for the rest of the essay? So your thesis, and we've already talked about these theses, so make sure you look at the feedback I've given you, but how well do you integrate it, and how well do you continue maintaining that idea? Because you present this idea at the beginning of your essay that says this is basically what this essay is going to be about, and that's your thesis, right? But the focus, part of getting that 10 in the focus, is to continue focusing on that. Every time you make a point, remind the reader how that point relates back to your thesis, to the main point in your essay. The content, this is where you're going to be graded on how well you achieve the items that are outlined in the field study ideas, the requirements. So, do you discuss your observation? Do you discuss a theory? Do you discuss how that theory kind of relates back to the observation that you made? Just basically your analysis and what that means. So after that's the organization. That's basically paragraph structure, your introduction, your conclusion, and just basically your sections. How well you organized. And this we really kind of worked on when we did the structure. So as long as you develop that structure and you follow that structure that you've put in place for yourself, you should be pretty good at organization. Now, expression, that's sentence structure. How well do you format your sentences? Is it clear what you're saying? Is it really difficult to understand what you're saying from your sentences? How well do they flow? Are they ambiguous? Do you use his and hers a lot, and where you don't really know who you're talking about? Mechanics, that's going to be where your MLA formatting's graded, as well as grammar, punctuation, everything like that. So all those kind of mechanical issues are under mechanics. So like I said, each of these will get a score from 0 to 10, and then that'll be averaged out of 50 points, and then you'll get a percentage of that. So that is the rubric. And like I said, if you've had me in the past, you probably that rubric's going to look familiar because I use it for just about every writing assignment. Sorry, somebody's honking outside. I don't want to come outside. So once you've done that, you watch this video. Now it's time to actually start writing that rough draft. And so I'm going to post another video that's specifically for that, because this video I don't want to get too long. But yeah, so anyways, that's basically the rubric, and I don't think there's really much else to say about it. So anyways, if you have any questions about it, of course, be sure to email me, text me, call me, and I will absolutely answer any questions you may have. The point, I guess, behind this, me making this video, isn't just to discuss the rubric, though, but also to let you know that you should look at that rubric and use that rubric as kind of a guideline when writing your essay. Because, like I said, if you can look at it and you can ensure that you achieve all the things that are kind of listed in the top row for the 10, mark, then you can pretty well assume that you're going to get a 10 for it, or at least a 9 or an 8. And so then you can kind of estimate your grade before you get it. So anyways, take a look at that rubric before you start writing your essay, and in the next video I'm going to discuss actually the essay submission process and all that stuff. So I'll see you in a few minutes.